All right, guys. Welcome to this lesson. So far we've looked at data in a lot of ways, right? We've seen that we can define data by giving it a name. I can go ahead and call green triangle 50 solid. And yes, this is a little bit of a review because we haven't touched Pirate in a while. Green. Okay. Or if I wanted to, I can even make a function green triangle size that gives me a triangle of the size I want. Oops. I'm just going to skip that for now. And I can go ahead and I can define what it is. It is a size, comma, solid, comma, green, triangle, and if I wanted to, I could add a where block where I can check if it's working, but we're just going to skip that for this. I'm just giving you some reminders. Lastly, we've seen that we can take data from outside of Pirate, candy data equals, and I can load a table, and we would grab it from our Google spreadsheet, okay? This is just some of the ways we've seen data used. We've seen variables, functions, we've seen tables, okay? I could also define a table myself, but the point isn't the tables. The point is, usually in a programming language, before you get to tables, you start with lists. Why did I skip lists? Well, first of all, data in the way that we've seen it in school, in science class, or in math, you usually see it in Excel. It's organized in tables or spreadsheets, I guess. On top of that, it just gives us a more concrete example. However, like if you take computer science B, in Java, I'm going to introduce lists first. And lists are very useful. Lists can do a few great things, okay? First of all, lists are unbound. That means I can keep adding items to the end of it. With a table, we have to make sure each column and row has the same amount of information. We can enter blank information, but it needs the same amount of information so it doesn't cause an error. Lastly, it's ordered, okay? By ordered, I mean we can say this is the first item, the second item, the third item, and so on, okay? Now, some of you earlier, I saw, figured out that you can go candy data and you can grab like get column. And yes, I know I don't have candy data here. I'm just showing it for those of you who did this earlier. Name, and this would create a list of names, okay? Well, that's great. We want to understand our list all the way at the beginning. So I'm gonna make a list called students. Okay, yes, I'm giving it a name. Okay, and I need a bracket. We always need a bracket when we make a list in Pirate, and we tell it what it is. We have to tell it's a list. Okay, and I can go Hayden. I can go Christensen. I can go Anakin. I can go Skywalker. And so on. I can add infinite items to this list because it is unbounded. Okay? Now if I run it, I type students, it'll tell me my list. Well, that's kind of useful. We'll talk about how to break that down more. Important things to notice. We must have brackets. No bracket, no work. We must have the word list. Pirate needs to know what type of data this bracket is representing. Okay. Oh, each item in the list is separated by a comma. So Hayden is the first, Christensen is the second, Anakin is the third, Skywalker is the fourth. Okay. Now, one other thing which is different in different languages, okay? Can I mix data? Can I write Hayden 1, chicken, false? Oh, let's see what, oh, I can't name it students 2. In Pirate, you can mix data types. In other languages, you can't because you have to tell it what data the items in the list are. So it's just something we have to be careful with. Okay. We tend to use this when a table is overkill. Now, the great thing about this is it allows us to bundle pieces of data together. So let's give a real example. I know I've just been typing kind of random things just to use as examples. So let's go ahead and make a real example. So pizza, I'm gonna make a list of pizza types. Okay. So meat is all of the meat ingredients our store can have. So I'm going to tell it it's a list, and we'll have pepperoni. Okay. We'll have sausage. We'll have fried chicken. Yes, I'm putting fried chicken on a pizza. It's okay. Yeah, let's do something interesting. Let's do shrimp. Okay, let's do veggies, where we can have a list of peppers, onions. Ew, I hate onions. Lettuce, not really good for pizza. And we'll just stop it there. Let's put seasonal items. Pirate is dash, sorry. Egg. Pickle. Not something, egg is okay. Pickle, I don't think I would want on my pizza. And we'll have premium items. These cost a lot more. We'll have, oops, something like steak. And let's go ahead and let's see what else could be premium. Shrimp. And let's put steak on our meats list here. Let's amend it, add steak to it. And for simplicity, let's make all these lowercase just so when we want to use them, it's easier. I don't have to remember what's upper and lower. That was not good by me. Eggplant. And let's add eggplant to our vegetable list. Okay, you might notice right now that I have meat, veggies, seasonal items, and premium. They're all different lists. So if I go over here and I type meat, it'll give me that list. If I type veggies, it'll give me that list. If I type seasonal items, I'll get that list. Another thing you might notice is every list is a different number of items long. This one's 4, this one's 3, this one's 1 long. Yes, remember we started 0 because of binary, okay? So that's some of the cool stuff. Let's go ahead and play with some of the magic now. All right, so a common use of lists is voting. So we're gonna go ahead and have a pizza vote. Okay, in this pizza vote, people have voted for the items that they like. So we have gotten a vote for pepperoni. We have a vote for peppers. Oh man, I haven't done this in a while in Pirate. Let me fix everything. We have onions, yuck. Peppers again. We have egg. And we have sausage. And I have a mistake. Let's see what that mistake is. Okay, the mistake is I didn't put list on the inside and I didn't do this. So we have a syntax error. Okay. Now, while this is useful to see just raw data, I can't really use it. So we need to learn a few commands. And those commands are as follows. We have member. Is something a member of a list? Distinct, is it repeated? And filter, okay? Filter returns from the input a list of things which the function returns true. So let's go ahead and start with filter. I think filter's a easier one to use because we've already used it a bunch in tables. You've done it a bunch, right? You've done filter with, and then we would have a table and a function. Okay, works pretty similar, except we have to do one thing. You may have noticed those L's. That's because some of the names in tables and lists are the same. So I'm going to import lists. Is it list or lists? Lists as L. Okay, and now I can go L.filter. L.filter. Now I need to go ahead and just tell it what type of list I need, right? So Actually, let's say filter for later. I'm sorry, I know I started with filter, but we have to write a helper function and all of that. L.member, and we'll just go with meat, and we'll see if egg is a member of meat. So if I run this, it's going to tell me false, because egg is a member of seasonal items. If I wrote seasonal items instead, and I run it, it'll tell me true now. Okay, the other one that we have to play with is L.distinct, and I can go to pizza votes, vote, run it, and what it's going to do is, you might notice that this list has 4 items, when if I go to pizza vote, it actually has 5 items, so 6 and 5. Because peppers has been voted for twice, it just gets rid of the undistinct items. Okay, now back to filter. Okay, we know filter, we give it a list, so I'm gonna go to pizza vote. And we know we need a helper function. So let's do is meat. Okay, but is meat doesn't exist, so we need to make it is meat. And is meat is going to take a string, and it's going to produce a Boolean. And what it's going to check is, actually, we'll skip that. We'll do where. I guess I can do the full process. So if I go is meat egg, it should tell me that egg is not a meat. Is meat steak is true. Is meat fried chicken? Oops. Let's make that fried dash chicken, not space, just to make it easier for ourselves. Is true. Okay, so we need to make this body. Obviously, what we're doing is we're checking if our string here is a member of a list. In this case, we're checking if it's a member of the meat list. Okay, so we have a slight problem. That's okay. We can go ahead and fix it. I believe the problem is just these two are reversed. I think it is the meat and then the list. And yes, that is it. So our is meat passes, and it takes our pizza vote here right now, and it goes pepperoni and sausage. So we know those two are the only 2 items on this list that people voted for that are meat. Your job. So Mr. Schmidt has asked me about Meatless Monday. He wants to check the pizza vote for only items that are not meat. Go ahead and try to write a function. When you're done, or if you're stuck, please show me.